Adrian Broner has been offered $50,000 by Chael Sonnen to spar King Green.
But Adrian, if you would like to spar with Bobby Green.
He said, Adrian, if you would like to spar Bobby Green, I'll personally pay you $50,000.
And we'll pay you $50,000.
You heard that, cuz?
My team at Bad Guy Inc. will bring the cameras, and we will pay you $50,000.
They said
I'll spar him again for $50,000.
They said they'll bring the cameras, and we will personally pay you $50,000 if you spar cut.
I'll spar him again for $50,000.
Tell them cough up some more money though.
Some more money though. My mama though.
Tell them to bring cash too though. They don't even need to do that.
I don't need to do that.
Joe Rogan defends Tom Aspinall over the eye poke, insisting he would never quit a fight.
Tom Aspinall?
Of course, he's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right.
We trained.
I've seen video of you guys training.
Yeah, we
together.
trained so much already for like I think close to 10 years.
Man, he got a bad deal. He got really fucked over for that fight. You know, the way people got upset at him for stopping the fight with those eye pokes, to me, that drove me crazy. Like, what do you expect the guy to do?
Yeah.
He's defending the heavyweight title. He get poked in the eyes and he can't fucking see. And he's had 2 eye surgeries since then.
And he's the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy, and he works incredibly hard. And he would never, even though, because I understand where it comes from the people to a certain extent, because they feel like, hey, Gan was doing so good in the beginning of the fight, but it was just the beginning of the fight. It was just like the first round or whatever. So it's possible that, hey, because of some ring rust, you had to get into it, and then the fight ain't over till it's over, right? So you can have an opinion about that the first round, and get an eye poke. Oh, now he's gonna stop because he knew he was behind or whatever. He would never in whatever world do that, because he has a fighter
if you looked
heart.
at the eye poke, he was knuckle deep in his eyeball.
I'm still a very small channel, so if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like and subscribe. It really helps me grow. Let's get back to the news. Jamahal Hill recently criticized boxers. This followed a sparring session where King Green dominated a professional boxer. Jamahal Hill said, "You guys are limited fighters."
PSA to the boxing world. One of y'all boys got exposed. It is what it is. It was a spar. He could learn from it. He can grow from it. Y'all could easily just leave it at that. All these boxers I'm seeing on here from all different weight classes hopping on, talking about Bobby Green this, Bobby Green that. Come pull up on this, come pull up on that. Bro, y'all are limited fighters. Boxing is a very limited part of what we do. In the real world, out on street fights and all of that shit, y'all are children. Y'all are complete children. We get done any type of way that we want to do, y'all. All right? Limited fighting is what y'all do. Y'all sitting up and all butthurt about it and all this and that because he went in there and touched up a dude that's 20 years younger than he is. You get what I'm saying? Talking about size, this, size. There wasn't none of that when y'all was disrespecting this man. Talking about, he gonna get knocked out. He gonna do him bad. It ain't no point in sparring. You can't do nothing. Or none of that shit. But now y'all mad and y'all salty. You want to make up excuses and all of that. Hey, yo, bro, stop coming for bro like that, bro. All y'all piling up like y'all ready to do something, like y'all gonna do something. Hey, none of y'all can come into our gym, can come to any MMA gym and do what Bobby did to y'all in y'all own lane. All right? Eat that shit. There ain't no making up for it. There ain't no comeback. There ain't no get back. There ain't none of that shit, bro. Cut it out, bro. Y'all coming at my boy sideways and it's kind of starting to piss me off, bro. Because if we decide to get like that with y'all, with boxers as a whole, y'all.
UFC Vegas 120 is headlined by a lightweight matchup between Poirier teammate Mateusz Gamrot and surging contender Quillen Selkilt. Things got heated between Dan Hooker and MMA Guru. The two have developed a tense online rivalry, with Guru frequently criticizing, reacting to, and trolling the New Zealand fighter. Now, things escalated during a recent live stream when Hooker threatened to head kick Guru if he ever saw him in person, accusing him of contacting his ex-girlfriend and asking about their breakup.
Yeah, the fat ginger fella, yeah, fuck that fucking loser. That's what the MMA guru. If I ever saw MMA guru in real life, slap, head kick. Not even a slap, it's a fucking head kick. What kind of fucking homo calls someone's ex-girlfriend after you break up and ask them, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Guru has since fired back, claiming that the situation was actually the opposite and that Hooker's ex-girlfriend was the one trying to contact him, but he ignored her. Taking to X, He wrote, "I get Dan Hooker wanting to head kick me if he ever sees me. Welcome to the long line of UFC fighters. But I don't know what your ex-girlfriend told you during the breakup, but we were never talking. She tried many times before to get in contact with me, but I ignored her." Followed up with, "I joked about it a few times in response to some donations, but I never responded to her attempts before, during, or after his breakup. I'm a cunt, but I'm not that much of a cunt. Dan Hooker has every right to not like me, but I'd rather it be for the correct reasons. Still, a fan." Michael Bisping believes there may be more to Anthony Smith's arrest incident. Smith and Bisping have been friends for several years, but the relationship became strained after Smith left Bisping's podcast, where he was a co-host. Now, speaking on the latest episode of his BYM podcast, Bisping shared his reaction to Smith's arrest and admitted he was shocked because he had never seen that side of his longtime friend. Bisping also suggested that Smith's wife's recent defense of him could be influenced by a desire to prevent Anthony from facing a lengthy prison sentence, rather than necessarily meaning that the incident did not happen the way it was initially described.
Obviously, there's always other sides, you know? So obviously, we all know Anthony, and we're going to say the things that we just said. But I spoke to a couple of people, and their opinion was, okay, he deserves what he gets, you know? And that's what a lot of people might think. They hear a story like this, you know, and they don't know the details and they don't know the human being behind it, and they just see the headlines and they think, well, this guy's an absolute scumbag. And obviously, people that do behave like that are scumbags and should be in prison. So we don't know the ins and outs. I think there's much, much more to this. Hopefully that all comes out, and it was just, I don't know, a drunken night that got out of hand. And, you know, she said she called the cops to help him from himself, you know, not the other way around.
It's tough to get into this stuff, but anybody that's abused tends to do this afterwards.
That's why,
you know what I mean?
The police take over,
and
don't allow you to rescind them. And again, I'm not saying this is happening, far from it. Just please don't nobody think that. But that's why, because you're mentally controlling them. They're worried about the circumstances down the line, and, you know, the family relationship and the dynamic with the children and all the rest of it. So, it's just, I saw it and it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. Hopefully it runs its course and it's not as bad as what it sounds, and he's going to be okay and the family's going to be okay. Because he does love that family, and I've seen him interact with his family. They ain't scared of him. She ain't scared of him. If anything, it's the other way around.
Jake Paul tried to convince Khabib Nurmagomedov to fight for his promotion.
What do you think, MVP-PFL?
Amazing. I think it's good. It's good for MMA.
With what we're doing, this merger with MVP, we're changing MMA forever, where we give fighters a better place to live. If you fought for us, it would monumentally change the sport forever. So it's about change.
The UFC Noche card won't be returning to the Sphere this year, but the lineup remains strong for the promotion's annual celebration of Mexican fighting culture. On Tuesday, UFC CEO Dana White appeared at State Farm Stadium for the official Noche UFC announcement, where he revealed the full card and confirmed that Yair Rodriguez V's. John Silva will headline the event on September 12th.
Some of the fights on the card. We have Brandon Moreno here today. Brandon Moreno versus Joseph Morales. Manon Farrow versus Alexa Grasso. David Martinez versus Danny Ige. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Curtis Blades. And the main event will be Yair Rodriguez versus Gene Silva. That's a great fight, ladies and gentlemen. Great fight. The WWE will bring one of its biggest annual events here, Royal Rumble. And Nikki Bella and Chelsea Green are here today, and they'll give you more details on that later on in the program. But I can tell you this, and most of you already know it, but the WWE has a very passionate global fan base that packs stadiums, and we're looking forward to bringing that buzz and economic impact here to Arizona.
In the lead up to the event, Garry has sparked backlash over recent comments he made about women in positions of power. The remarks drew criticism from fans, while Euros Medic and several other fighters mocked Garry publicly. Former UFC heavyweight Brendan Schaub even called one of Garry's interviews one of the worst I've ever seen. Garry has yet to respond as he focuses on the final stretch of his preparation for the showdown with Islam Makhachev. Now, Garry has added even more fuel to the fire by teaming up with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals for a marketing campaign promoting a plant-based diet.
Wants to be the best. For me, it starts with what I put in my body. Before I was plant-based, I was strong. But now, I'm on another level. Because strength isn't just power. It's clarity, endurance, discipline. I recover faster, move smoother. This is what peak performance feels like. My body works better. My mind is locked in. I am not just fighting opponents, I'm fighting limits. To be the best version of me and the best athlete out there. This is the future. And the future is powered by plants.
Fans finally have reason to be optimistic about Shavkat Rakhmonov's return to the octagon. Shavkat hasn't competed since defeating Ian Machado Garry in December 2024 and was later removed from the UFC welterweight rankings following his latest injury setback. It was subsequently revealed that Shavkat suffered another knee injury in training and underwent surgery. His team recently said he is expected to return in early 2027. Judging by the latest training footage, Shavkat recovery appears to be going well. In a video shared by his coach, the undefeated welterweight was seen sparring for the first time since undergoing surgery. Darren Till and Yoel Romero delivered what might be the longest face-off ever. The former UFC middleweights are set to clash at BKFC 94 on September 26th. On Tuesday, the two fighters came face-to-face for the first time during the event's launch press conference in Manchester, England. While the face-off started like a typical stare-down, it quickly turned into an intense moment as Till and Romero refused to break eye contact for nearly 4 minutes.
Please. No, I
Finish.
don't fight. I don't fight him.
Finish.
And
Finish.
don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm here.
Ali Abdelaziz Deniz rumors that the UFC has already signed Usman Nurmagomedov.
At work, kind of discussing what his future is going to be.
The truth of the matter is, PFL had an opportunity to sign him before the fight. And you know how much I love PFL. PFL's always give an opportunity for people, and they don't get enough credit. And I put a number, it was a number on the table for them, for Usman, to extend the contract. But the number I thought was fair number. And they choose not to. They just, Usman take a risk. He could have went out there and he could have lost. Ash could have beat him. He took a risk. He gambled on himself. And he won. Now, as a manager, I have to talk to people. Because, they allowed me to talk to people by not re-signing him. Of course, I'm going to talk with them first. But I'm going to talk to other people too. And they know I'm going to talk to other people. And whatever makes sense for Usman, we're going to do. It's going to be next 90 days. They have an exclusive negotiation. And after that, I'm going to talk to other people and we'll figure it out. They can tell me, go ahead and talk to other people to cut the time off. And I'll talk to other people, but everything is on up and up. I don't hide things from people. It's been many deals. But at the end of the day right now, it's not like 100%. He's leaving, going to the UFC. It doesn't work like that.
People are assuming like it's already done. That is not the case.
No, that's not true. Like UFC will never come break somebody's contract. They're very smart. They're a public company. They're not like this. But in a way, listen, it's gonna be a lot of conversation behind closed door. Very respectful, and whatever I do, PFL will know about, and I'll follow the rules. And because I have a relationship with them too. Relationship is everything with me, you know. And everybody know I have amazing relationship with the UFC also, you know. And if Dana sending emoji and doing this make me very happy, because Dana normally he moves on and he said I'm not interested. If he's interested, that's even a compliment for them, because Dana interesting one of the fighters because he believe he is the.
The belief in Garry is shared by MMA Guru as well, despite the fact that the former stated that betting against Makhachev was risky because of the dominance level of the champion at this moment. Nonetheless, Guru believes that Garry has a unique style that might give the champion problems.
And I just know, because this is how it always fucking works, dude. I just know that the second I start picking the underdogs, all of a sudden, Makhachev just fucking dominant. How could you pick Ian Garry? Like we ain't seen the recent events that we've seen. I'm going to go with Ian Garry, dude. I think he's going to be too elusive on the feet. I don't think Makhachev's going to be able to kick at range against him and do that effectively. And I think it's big danger for Makhachev on the feet, man. At range? Listen, against JDM, JDM's the same size as Makhachev. Maybe a slight bit taller than him, but they're about the same frame, same size. Makhachev went to the legs of JDM, you know, knowing that he was going to have that stance, and we've seen that, you know, JDM's low kick defense isn't what it's all cracked up to be. So that was kind of like a, you know, in hindsight now we know when it comes to Makhachev.
In the ongoing discussion about UFC 330, Joe Rogan referenced Makhachev's most recent title defense to illustrate the reason behind why the champ is still getting underrated.
Just dominates at 170, like every round. People are saying it's boring, but listen, man, it's boring if you're a casual. The fact that he was able to do it every round, it was a little frustrating because you wanted Jack to try to adjust, but he couldn't, man. Islam shut his game down right away. He low kick front leg real quick, had him limping real quick. Like within the first round, he had hit it 3 or 4 times. Bad.
I imagine being Khabib, you know, just your proteges is coming in.
And Khabib's even better than him.
Right.
That's what's so crazy. That's how good those guys are. KOing people, man. It's different. Yeah. He's different. He's head kicking Volkanovski. It's like a different level of stand up.
Yeah, Khabib said, you're going to be better than me.
Crazy.
Them Dagestani boys is here to stay.
You know what's crazy, dude? Bilal Muhammad, you know, who was the champ at welterweight, went down to Dagestan and trained with those guys. And he was like, I thought I trained hard. I really did. I thought I trained.
On the other hand, Carlos Prates also added his opinion on the much-anticipated title fight, where he stated that Gart has the ability to shock the world as he has the potential to beat Makhachev, despite being an underdog in the fight.
Carlos, looking at that fight, you look at Ian Garry and the way that he fights, he's very intelligent, and then you look at the pound for pound in Islam Makhachev. How do you see that fight going? Where do you see Ian potentially having success over Islam?
Of course, he's an underdog against Makhachev, but I truly believe he have a really good skills to beat Makhachev, you know. Of course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fight. I think if he would the guy like knock people out a little bit more, he hurt a little bit more, would be like less hard to beat Makhachev, you know. He do a lot of points. He don't hurt people. He not. But I think he have a chance, really good chance, like real chance, you know, to beat Makhachev. But
it's not just MMA Guru that recognizes Garry as an impending threat. Even former UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley recognizes the possibility of this up-and-coming Irish contender taking the rest of the world by surprise.
Let's go. That's gonna be sick. We got some fun fights coming up. Ian versus Islam. Me and Goo were just talking. We're like, dude, I think Ian gets it done. I think Ian's
just the way shit's been going.
Not the way shit's been going, but I think Ian's that fucking good. He's so big, he's so long, and he's so confident. And then Khabib came out and said, "Hey, Ian's a hard matchup for us. He's long, he moves well, he moves a lot. He's not gonna go in there get single leg easy dumped. He's gonna fucking scoot back. He's gonna throw, and it's gonna be a difficult fight. I'm excited. I'm actually Russia or Dagestan versus Ireland. This is an epic.
You think Ian Garry's got a shot here to win the belt?
Yeah, definitely. He has a shot for sure. You know, even though he's a cuck and he sits in the corner of the room and watches his wife get dogged out by the nutritionist, he still has a shot. You know, there's no doubt about it. He's a long, lanky fighter. Islam's getting a little older. Who knows Islam's motivation anymore? You know, he wanted that big money matchup with Ilya, and now that matchup is gone and destroyed forever. So that matchup will never happen. So we just got to see what his motivation level is, you know, and you know, he's going to be a lot smaller than Ian. So, I mean, I think he inflicts his will, and, you know, he takes him down and makes it a boring fight. But, you know, definitely Ian can win. He has paths to victory on the feet, but we'll have to see what type of evolution he has in his wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
I got to go with Islam Makhachev. I mean, I can't pick against him. I feel like I could just see Ian Garry. I don't think Ian Garry gets destroyed. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. I do not believe that from everything I've seen, and maybe it's just different with Islam, but I do think Islam will win, but I think we'll walk away from it going, man, Ian Garry is really good. Like, he is good. He is championship level, just not right now with Islam around. You know what I mean? Like, Islam is just a one-of-one fighter. I really believe that. I mean, every time I kind of forget, I just go back and watch some like Islam title defenses. The Charles Oliveira fight when he won the belt, I just rewatched that today. Man, it's just I just know this guy is just another level. So yeah, I think I could see a finish from Islam. I think if there's a finish, it is Islam Makhachev. It's not Ian Garry, but I feel like it's going to be like a 48-47 decision. Like, he's gonna have to go through some trickiness from Garry, but I think he's going to win because of his strength, because of his finishing ability, and I feel like his composure and his defense on the feet is good enough to.
In contrast, John Jones, who is a former UFC champion himself, did not hesitate to bet on Makhachev retaining his title. For this prediction, Jones cited the superior wrestling abilities of Makhachev as his key point, saying that any fighter who possesses world-class grappling skills is extremely tough to defeat, particularly at the championship level.
John, please, one question for Russian MMA fans. Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry, what do you think about this fight?
Oh, I'm going with Islam because he has a wrestling background, and it's hard to beat wrestlers. So Islam, he may just be one of the greatest fighters in the world right now. It's me and maybe him. So I encourage him to keep going.
Thank you so much.
Bo Nickal is joining the Khamzat Chimaev V's Tyron Woodley show, and he's not getting an easy matchup. RAF announced Tuesday that Nicholas is set to wrestle Olympic wrestling champion Shervani Muradov at the upcoming RAF Moscow event, which is headlined by Chimaev V's Woodley on September 5th. Nickal has recently returned to his wrestling roots with RAF, defeating Jacob Cardenas at the Freestyle Wrestling Promotions inaugural event this past August. A subsequent matchup with MMA veteran Yoel Romero fell through, but Nickal is already scheduled to face 2026 NCKA Division champion Max McNally at RAF 12 on August 22nd and then square off with Muradov. Muradov makes his RAF debut. He won a gold medal in freestyle wrestling at 96 kg, representing Russia. Jorge Masvidal and Dustin Poirier believe the UFC welterweight division has a dangerous dark horse who could give the top 5 serious problems. Speaking on the latest episode of the UFC's Deep Waters podcast, Masvidal and Poirier praised Yaroslav Amosov's potential to become a UFC welterweight champion. They also agreed that Amosov would be a nightmare matchup for Islam Makhachev. Amosov is currently ranked number 14 in the UFC welterweight division and has already picked up 2 submission victories over Neil Magny Joel Alvarez.
I need this much. I love Carlos Prates. I think he's one of the most violent guys in the whole sport right now. But Yaroslav is a bad fight for him.
It's a tough matchup.
He's a bad fight for everybody. Even Makhachev, all the way down to number 10 guy, Yaroslav is that good. He's a bad fight for all these guys.
I think he's a nightmare for Islam.
Nightmare for Makhachev.
Yeah, I think
he's
so.
Bigger, longer, and I'm gonna say probably stronger as well in his wrestling, his size. He's also, I think, a 2-time world champion in Sambo, something like this.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be all right with the body locks, the foot sweeps, the in-close fighting that Makhachev does. Yaroslav will be able to outshine him probably.
And if the wrestling cancels itself out, I think yours.
Dana White is once again facing heavy criticism following a series of recent posts on his Instagram stories. Dana used his Instagram account to repost a UFC story announcing the untimely death of flyweight contender Alan Nascimento. In the very next post, White called it a great day while blowing cigar smoke into the camera. The timing of the post did not go unnoticed. Many people, including UFC lightweight Renato Moicano, criticized White over the situation. Moicano wrote, "Damn dude, Dana messed up on this one. Posted a picture of the kid and then a cigarette case and we're all liking it? We're really just passing through this cruel world. Only Jesus saves." Here are some more reactions from the MMA community. Dana White, you are absolutely disgusting. This sport is better without people like you. Starting to think Dana White is just evil. One of his fighters almost died, and another one of his fighters literally did die today, by the way. Not former fighters either, active fighters in his promotion. Another fan said, "The guy who beats his wife in front of everyone has been lost for a long time." There are men so poor that the only thing they have is money. Dustin Poirier will return to his television analyst role for the first time since his arrest earlier this summer. Poirier is still in the early stages of dealing with the aftermath of his arrest for public intoxication at Atlanta International Airport. He faces up to a year in prison and slash, or a fine if convicted of the misdemeanor charge. Poirier recently shared that one of his major post-fighting sponsors, Bud Light, opted to part ways with him following his arrest. His contract was terminated immediately following his detainment, and his long-term future as an analyst on Paramount remains cloudy. Despite his recent legal issues, Poirier will return to the broadcast desk this weekend at the Apex in Las Vegas. He will sit alongside anchor Dean Thomas and former UFC fighter Alan Jobin at the broadcast desk for mid-event and post-fight segments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest MMA news. And I'll see you in the next video.